Something blue, audio, time to roll the intro. Hi! Hello! How's it going? You good? I should probably turn the audio off, the intro off. Oh no, it's playing again! Hi guys. We're back. We're here. We're here. Hi. For real this time. For real this time. We're back. We're back. I see a bunch of stuff to add to the wheel. I will add all. Really, really quickly. Terribly sorry about the delay. We've been setting stuff up for the Twitch stream on Wild Magic, and we ran into some kerfuffles, and then when we finally tried to go live on YouTube, it kept redirecting me to fucking Streamlabs. So that wasn't great, but I'm back now. I'm back. We're back. I know that today there's a lot of people who are not feeling great, and I know that today there's a lot of people who are like not feeling safe. So I think that the best thing that we can do right now is work within our control and just try to have a good time at Tardis Wiki Roulette and later on at Wild Magic if you feel like joining. I already added a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, hang on, yeah, YouTube doesn't like it when you're offensive to the people who do the salutes. So we'll change that one. Yes, I will add oligarchy as well. Not C? Yeah, not C. I do not see any Nazis here. Oh dear. Okay. This is the part where I guess I explained the fucking premise of this show. He was just throwing his heart out to the crowd. President of the United States. We'll add that. We'll add that. But yeah, I think generally right now the best response to all of this is to remember that there's a massive feed of information that's constantly being retranslated by different groups and interests that are specifically designed to keep you angry and make you angry. And so I think the best thing that you can do right now is work within the control that you have, work with the communities that you have around you, and try to make those better. Because at the end of the day, what we really have right now is each other. And we need to remember that, basically. And no matter what's happening right now, it's best to channel that anger and that frustration into things that help the people around you. Because the people around you are going to be the ones that need help. That's my main message on the events that have transpired recently, basically. Oh no, you should be angry, very angry. Yeah, but dude, aren't you like a cis white dude like I am? Like, I don't think that being in a constant cycle of anger is going to like help people. You should be angry. Yeah, absolutely, you should be angry. But like, it's about how you direct that anger. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you like use that anger. Because if you're just constantly in a world where you're reacting to things angrily, like I did this morning, you're not actually in a position to do that much good. Elon Musk and his shit poems. I think I already added Elon. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I'm fucking scary. But like I said, it's about how you direct that. It's about how you direct that, and it's about what forms of defiance you choose to take. Can you add Borrower? I can absolutely add Borrower. Yes. Did I add Borrower? I did add Borrower. Yes, it's on there. Not sure what my completing the system of German idealism joke is. I don't know either. Shout out to BIPOC, queer people and women in America. Stay safe, yo. Absolutely stay safe. So this is what I'm saying. Is you got to think about how you can materially make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very hard. It's very hard to not fall into despair at everything that's going on. And I understand that. It is very hard not to, but we can't afford not to. Because at the end of the day, like, they're going to lose. We're going to make them lose. And it's important to remember that. It's just going to be a long, hard time until that happens. And it's going to suck for a lot of people. It's going to suck for some people a lot more than others as well. And it's extremely unfair. So we can't control the fact that it's extremely unfair, but we can control how we can respond to it. God, I picked a great day to come back to the stream, didn't I? No, you did, because we're going to get on with a lovely time and have a great Tardis Wiki Roulette in a bit. However, right now I'm just doing my my little PSA, because I know that there's a lot of you out there who are very worried and scared right now, and I want you to know that this is a safe space. It will remain a safe space, and we're going to try and do some good. Did you add anything I suggested, Brian? I added all of the things you suggested, actually. Yes, all of them are on the way right now, Xavier. Ryan, can you throw your heart out to your beloved audience? No, because I need that to live and keep making Tardis Wiki roulettes. Okay, that said, that part of the thing is done now, and now we're going to have a good time and spin some wheels, okay? What colour is my heart sniffling? We're gonna do it now. So Alan is here and ready to go. So I think that's hopefully a good sign of things to come. I think we should probably get along with our first wheel spill then. Is Elon gonna grow the mustache? I think so, yes. I think he will grow the mustache and CNN will defend it. That's what I think will happen. Time worm! Well, this is an interesting start to occasions. I have no idea what this is. Unless it's the time worm from Time Worm Genesis, and I don't know what it is. It's just a Chaplin reference. Uneducated wokes think everything's a Hitler reference these days. Wow. Oh dear. Rare non-political wheel spin. I mean, you guys decide what goes on there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Time Worm. William once wrote a letter to Doctor Who Adventures asking the 11th Doctor if the Time Beetle had a friend, such as a Time Worm or a Time Spider, as well if he liked them. The Doctor responded that the Time Beetle belonged to the Pantheon of Discord, speculating that they probably had time worms, space parrots, and dimension-jumping cheese weasels, and as they just loved chaos. Notably, the 7th Doctor had previously faced a godlike being known as the Time Worm. In addition to the name's similarity to that of the godlike Time Worm, the phrase Time Worm would go on to be used in behind-the-scenes documentation as an informal descriptor oh god, for the creanies of the 12th Doctor interactive story, with David Wilson Nunn, a creative lead on the project, stating that the Creanie were created in response to the brief of creating a Time Worm style monster. Speaking of Discord, make sure to join the SBA Discord server. Yeah, if you guys really want to vent, go ahead and do it on the Discord server too. Put that anger to good use. I will vote for anyone who in 2028 who hates Republicans as much as I do. Dude, they're just gonna run Joe Biden again. What are you talking about? It's gonna be Hillary 2028. Just watch, and then we're gonna lose again. That's what's gonna happen. Won't he be dead by 2028? Yeah, you'll have President Ivanka Trump in 2028. Oh dear. He already said, man, you won't have to vote anymore. It's done. It's done. One of those executive orders they did already requires, like, changing the constitution. So, I mean, it's done. It was a good 200 or so years, but... I mean, the man is far too old to run right now. Yeah, no, he's just a tool for, like, billionaires and stuff. He's just a tool for corporations to do whatever they want. That's why every corporation is, like, falling in line with what he's doing. Welcome back, American monarchy. Yeah, basically. I don't think the Supreme Court will toss it, Najawin. I've lost all faith in our institutions. I'm sorry. From America to 10, how free are you tonight? The Supreme Court wants a group of philosopher oligarchs, not a single king, so they disagree here. It doesn't matter if they disagree, they'll kiss the ring. It doesn't matter. If the institutions worked, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in the place we're at. Save us, Alan. Yeah, let's spin the wheel again. Alan 2028, that's something I'd vote for. Eternal Champion! Didn't we do this one? I think we did this one. I think we did this one. Eternal Champion. What do you think? What do you think are the real chances, Najawin? What do you think are the real chances of the transgender thing being overturned by the Supreme Court? Give me a number. Give me an estimation, and then do the same thing for the birthright citizenry one. What do you think are the actual chances of it happening? Because I'm going to put them at around 0.3% on both. Oh, not the transgender thing, the birthright one. Yeah, well, I mean, I would like for both of them to be overturned. Transgender, very low. Okay. Then, like, fuck them, frankly. That's not something I'm willing to, like, compromise on. X is the home for free speech, unless you criticize Elon Musk. Then get out. He literally, like, threatened to kill people a while ago. He said he has, like, a huge graveyard full of his enemies and stuff. I don't know, we're in for some crazy times. Shout out to the people who voted for this and thought it was a good idea. It's still very bad, but we were talking about changing the constitution with an executive order. I think that bit isn't going to happen. I don't think you're right. I don't think you're right. Anyway, let's look. It's a lot of 11th Doctor today. The 11th Doctor believed himself to be an instance of a multiversal archetype, which kept the cosmic balance between law and chaos within the million spheres. Yeah, we did do this one. We did do this one. Elon Musk is shaped like a goldfish bowl. Okay, okay. A goldfish, period. Alright. Let's go. Let's see, talk god mythology. This looks pretty interesting. Let's see where this goes. See where this goes. Oh, this is interesting. I recommended this to Soto, not the wheel, while I'm reading it. I think this is the first talk page on the wheel, yes. Let's take a look. Take a look. Elon Musk shaking hands with Nikola Tesla being eugenics supporters. No, Nikola Tesla was a good man who should have been famous but wasn't famous. What are you talking about? Why would, if he believed in something problematic like eugenics, why would they make a Doctor Who story about it? Why would any era of Doctor Who make a story about a proto-Nazi and try to galvanize them as a hero? Why would anyone in Doctor Who do something so offensive like that? Oh well, it's not like they have any other moments like that. You can't just blame your people for not voting for the Dems, the party, you have to take some of the blame. That's nice of you. No, you have to understand, Najwa will never ever blame the Democrats for the Democrats being a bunch of incompetent corporate cronies. It's always the voters' fault. And yes, we can absolutely blame the people. I mean, I would blame the people who didn't vote Democrat more than the people who voted Trump, because like 3 million people, like 3 million less people voted for Trump in this election, and that's even after he clearly fucking rigged it. But 15 million less people voted for the Democrats. So there's clearly a problem with the Democrats' messaging there. It's just not their fault here. It is though. It absolutely is. It absolutely is their fault, and people are going to suffer and die because of their choices. That's a nice article you got there. It is. Article title is offensive. Why is the article? Oh, because it's mythology. Okay, this should be pretty good. The article title is offensive, and I request mythology in brackets be removed from it. I don't find it offensive, but I agree that the page should be removed. Wikipedia uses God for the monotheistic figure and deity for gods in general. A much better solution would also be, which also avoids the need for disambiguation. Mythology isn't really accurate anyway, as God is also a philosophical concept, etc. Yeah, given that no DWU sources have come out and said that God belongs to the realm of mythology, this dab term is editorial at best and insensitive at worst. Mary mythology is a similar example. It probably wouldn't be hard to come up with a better dab to replace mythology on these places, as well as Zeus mythology et al. Maybe something as simple as religion. Wait, are we actually discussing this? It's Najawin! Are we actually discussing this? These straightforwardly are instances of mythology. This is arguably a necessary component of them being part of a religious tradition. Mythology has a real meaning that's not just pejorative. It's neither editorializing nor insensitive. It's true. Arguably, it's overly technical, but you know, look at where we are and see our still unresolved discussion at Talk Queer Representation in Doctor Who. Najawin! I think a lot of it was their fault, especially when you look at how the Dems alienated many members of the far left from their party. Yes, true. Incumbents suffered worldwide, Dem did better than almost any other incumbent party. I mean, the Democrats not being willing to condemn the Gaza conflict is one of their biggest failures. Yeah, I agree. I think that lost them the election, to be honest. I think just how enthusiastic Joe Biden was about killing Palestinians is what cost us this election, to be honest. It's a very stupid thing to do. No matter what dab term we use, I don't feel okay about certain gods being exempt from it, as I don't think it's within our right to say that one deity is truer than another. That's a good point. I disagree with changing the mythology dab in general, as it's not really pejorative or contentious in most cases, but there are probably better ways of referring to a lot of religious figures. Mary is a historical personage, for instance, and it's flatly incorrect to call her Mary mythology. Most readers who see that name will be jarred by it. Wikipedia has her page as Mary, Mother of Jesus, which strikes me as ideal. Is this just a very long argument between Najawin and a bunch of... I hope you enjoy this glimpse into how the sausage is made. Well, not just me. To be fair, you were making some good points. Let's spin the wheel again. Why don't we? Wait, what page is this? It's a talk page. That was fascinating. For fuck's sake. Alan is fucking mad today. Man, it's gonna be one of those days where it's like, we'll keep steering me away from political topics, and then Alan will be like, no. No, we're rolling Elon Musk next. Okay, let's go on the Tardis Wiki page. You question the words of the mighty Bible. Oh, sorry, the mighty Bible. Oh dear. We need to bring prayer back to school, etc. To be fair, like, I am religious. I'm just not a Christian. And they kind of seem like a bunch of bullies for the most part. Because, for context, I'm a fairly moderate chat politically, but even I dislike the Democrats. Yeah, they're really easy to dislike. Even if you agree with all of their, like, centre-right policies, it's still really easy to dislike them. Which was a huge problem they had. I think the biggest issue the Democrats have is that they don't stage manage themselves very well. We're talking electorally. Morally, they're a bunch of corporate whores, and that's the biggest problem they had. You mean everyone has internalized Republican narratives? Yeah, because the Republicans have a way better media apparatus than the Democrats do. So they were able to push out their message in a multilateral way. That's why, like, the Democrats lost, because they didn't have that media apparatus that the Republicans do. And then, like, every single major newspaper in the US, they became Trump donors. Like, because at the end of the day, what it actually comes down to is capital. Like, if you were to actually have the Democrats represent the interests of the kind of people who want to vote Democrat, then a lot of money would have to come out of corporations. Those corporations all donate to Democratic politicians, so they will never, ever, ever, ever actually enact a policy plan that reflects what the American people actually want. And so they will always, always cede ground to the fucking Republicans on that front every time. And, like, they finally had some good messaging going by just calling them fucking freaks, and then the party, the party, like, establishment fucking stopped it. Low trust in politics is a Republican narrative. Don't start calling people right-wing for... Oh yes, 5M and Barry, the best artist team. But, like, they are both evil. Yeah, at this point, yes. Yes, that is true. I didn't say they're right-wing, I say they've internalized right-wing narratives. I mean... I don't think so. I think the institutional solutions don't work, so we need to find non-institutional ones. Isn't a right or a left-wing narrative. Jesus of Nazareth never died, he was simply adopted into a Tardis team. And then died, because he was Adric. Keir Starmer is basically the tofu of people, because Keir Starmer isn't a person. He's a collection of contracts with different corporations. Sounds very right-wing to me. Yeah, but you're a fucking liberal. You think everyone's right-wing. You think everyone to the right and the left of you is right-wing. And that's the thing, like, you don't actually have a solution. Like, what's the solution here? Like, how do we get out of this? And it can't be just vote Democrat, because that's not going to work. I'm not even a socialist, really. I'm far too indecisive, but I really don't like the Democrats right now. The problem is I just don't think they have strong politics. I have many solutions. What would be your solution to where we're at right now, then? What action do you think the left should take as a collective right now? None of which are short enough to go into YouTube. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem right there. That's the problem right there, okay? See, I tell you what. Oh, here's what you have. You have, oh, I have many solutions, none of which are short enough to go on a YouTube chart. All of which are too complicated for you peons to possibly understand. Or, use the Force, Luke. That's people will understand one of them. I tell you that. Be on the Twitch stream tonight. I'm playing Rome Total War, and Najawin will explain it at length. You won't? Ah, that's a shame. We have good times there. I have no idea in truth. I wish I did, but I just don't know. I'm willing to follow socialist groups in my country, but I'm not really confident in them, to be honest. That's understandable because, like, there's a lot of problems with socialist groups as well. Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. Well, I know where I stand. The Bible was the central book of several religions on Earth. In Mesopotamia in 2700 BC, Ace thought that the story Avram had done about a great flood caused by a war between the gods sounded like something from the Bible. In 64, the first Doctor criticized Amos, Rahab, and Reuben's Greek translation of Mark, noting it to be as stale as stale bread. He advised them to follow their inspiration rather than aim for accuracy. In 1605, he observed that the translation of the Bible into the English language. Why don't you add a sword fight here and there? Because everyone I look at to check if they're nutters, well, tankies, I believe, is the right word. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of people on the left, is a lot of people on the left are reactionary, and, like, it translates to just America bad most of the time. And with me, I think America good. I want America to succeed. I think America's done a lot of good for the world. However, we're at a tipping point right now and something needs to be done about it. That's how I feel about this, basically. Liberal, they have a good article about the bad housing policy is at the root of all the issues, though not all of them, so it would be a good start. And how would you push bad housing policy, bearing in mind that you can't do it through the Democrats, because a lot of the corporations responsible for the bad housing policy own the Democrats. So you can't use the Democrats. What's your solution to get that policy enacted? You have 30 seconds. You don't actually have 30 seconds. But that's the thing, like, I don't know, you can think tank as much as you want. It's not gonna do shit. Sure you can, it's happening right now in California. How is it happening? Is it local level politics that's making it happen? Like I was saying to do before? Is that what's making it happen? Because that's not party politics, that's people politics. That's a very different fucking thing. State level? So local level. Basically. Because what is the state government except a collection of different local representatives all working together? Like, that's the thing. You can affect change on like a micro level. But in terms of like actually stopping one of these policies from harming people, there doesn't really seem to be any way of doing it. California is as big as the UK/Japan, so politically speaking, I think the Doctor tends to alternate between regenerations, but tends to be more left-wing. I would say the Doctor is about as left-wing as the BBC will allow him to be. That's what I would say there, Bob Hurst. It's not meaningfully local. What would you decide as meaningfully local? At what point do local politics become meaningfully local? Like, I don't get it. Unless you just mean, like, the fact that California did it statewide. But then, like, the fact that California did it statewide tells me that it's not going to happen, because most states will look at something California did and go, oh, that must be the wrong thing to do. We won't do that out of spite. Like, California might as well, like, not exist, either not exist to the rest of the country, or it's a negative example. Like, the state government is actually actively forcing city governments to build housing against their wishes. The housing market would be solved if houses were made dimensionally transcendent. No, it wouldn't. You know it wouldn't, Carco Queen. You know it wouldn't. They'd still find a way. They'd still find a way. Okay, H.G. Wells, during a stay in Scotland in 1885, attempted to hold up a Bible along with a crucifix. Yeah, it wouldn't. No, yeah, it wouldn't. In an attempt to repel a newly arrived Sixth Doctor whom he'd mistaken to be a spirit. In 1943, Weather and Wainwright tried to hold back attacking Hemivores with his faith in the Bible, but his faith was too weak and they overwhelmed him. In the 1970s, Count Scarlione owned several Gutenberg Bibles that he sold in order to finance his experiments into time travel. Oh. Washington is also changing policy, but I'm less informed about it. CA is making massive shifts and Newsom has declared a state emergency over it. Well, that's pretty interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. It all feels like it's going to be too little too late. And, like, wasn't Newsom also locking up homeless people? Wasn't he also doing that? Isn't that also part of this push? Aren't they, like, criminalizing homelessness in California? Because I'm pretty sure I read about that. Isn't it the same dude who's doing that? I feel like the answer is going to be a very tentative yes. Because it kind of blows this argument out of the window. Looking it up. Criminalizing homelessness. Yes! Yes, he clears out homeless encampments. He criminalizes being homeless. I believe he's fighting them. What do you think happens when you find a homeless person, Darjawin? TardisWiki Wiki Roulette everyone. That's oh, when the house is, it's like a who are you gonna sell your underwater house to? Fucking Aquaman moment. I think a lot. I do too. I think he's an evil reptilian, and I don't mean in the David Icke way. I just mean that he's a cold-blooded murderer. I just mean it in that sense. Although we can all agree the most left-wing Doctor is the 12th. Yeah, I would say 12, 7, and 3 are the most consistently left-wing Doctors. 3 in a very 1970s way. But it was quite radical for when he came out. 3 is an interesting one. But on the housing issue, the emergency declaration was the right step forward. Well, that's good. We have to that's another thing too, is like you have to celebrate little wins as well. And although I'm giving Najawin like the fucking elbow right now, he does have a good point about looking for positivity when you can. Free is your dad who learned martial art. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. The third Doctor is the most relatively progressive. Yes, 100% Cookie Boy. You are right about that, I think. Because even though 7 was very left-wing, he was a very normal level of left-wing for that time. 3 is super left-wing, but he'd still call me a slur. I don't think he would, to be honest. I don't think he would. I don't think... Weirdly, even though I think that... I don't think Free would be bigoted to you for being trans. I think Free would be bigoted to you for being a woman. I think that's what would happen there. Free would get into a fist fight. Yeah, he would. He would. He would. It's interesting, though, because I feel like if anyone else was sexist to you, like, proper sexist, Free would kick their ass. He'd call me a slur in a non-bigoted way. Yeah, but if you did, if he did, you could explain to him that it was, and he would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll never use that word again. Whereas 5 would keep using it. Didn't 5 say a slur in one story? Didn't he do one in, what was it? Black Orchid? Wasn't it that one? Trans women are women, so now I'm going to condescend to you for the rest of the story. 5 would call me a slur unprompted. Sigma 5th Doctor. Yeah, I know. Just make a video called "Is the 5th Doctor based?" In the 30th century, Sundergaard compared the stone tablets, which recorded the beginning of Solonian civilization, to the Book of Genesis. 4 gives real "I just want to grill" vibes. I feel that. He really does. I feel like 4 would be a libertarian, to be honest. To be completely honest. I feel like 4 would be all about the legalization of weed, would have some very weird opinions about the age of consent. And would just want to grill, yes. 2 says a slur because he thinks the word sounds funny to say. I mean, Romana. That is true. Free just doesn't say it. 4 says it and will not stop saying it. 5 says it but feels a bit bad and does nothing. 6 says it because he knows what it means and it wants to insult you. Why, how old was Romana? She was less than a third of the 4th Doctor's age. She was his student as well, when it first, kind of. 10 and 13 are canon J.K. Rowling fans, so jury's out on them. 11, I don't know if it's because Matt Smith is a Tory, but like, I always read 11 as a little bit of a Tory as well. I always read 11 as a little bit of a Tory because of Matt Smith. 12 is definitely based though. Matt Smith is a Tory? Yes, Matt Smith is a Tory. Yes. It's not something that's well known. It's literally something that I've extrapolated from like reading interviews with him. But yeah, no, he voted for Brexit. He has called Prince Philip the man who has more like on record racial slurs than any other human being in history, a rock star and like one of the coolest people to ever live. He was definitely on a lot of cocaine while he was filming Doctor Who, and as everyone knows, cocaine is a right-wing drug. There's some other stuff too. Look up, would 13 say a slur? Yes. She kind of did already, yes. Look up. There was some other... Oh, yeah! And also Matt Smith compared playing a gay person to playing a heroin addict. Which I feel like he wouldn't say if you were, like, progressively educated. And he's also, like, opposed to trigger warnings in, like, plays and stuff. So, like, every time he's ever made a stance, like, politically in public, it's been, like, a right-wing stance. So, yeah, no, Matt Smith, probably a Tory. Until proven otherwise. Especially when you contrast him with just how active David Tennant and Peter Capaldi and Christopher Eccleston and Ncuti Gatwa are with their activism. No, in Legend, who up gaying their heroine right now. I like Matt Smith, but he needs to stop talking sometimes. I agree. I think he's probably a lovely bloke. He's just dumb when it comes to politics. I mean, you've got to remember that underneath all of the, like, twirly-whirly, like, oh, I'm Professor Wondegarium, like, mannerisms, under all of that is a man who was going to be a professional football player. And you've got to, like, remember that, I think, with Matt Smith. And now go and watch the average professional football player fucking talk about anything. Oh my god, a coffee? A coffee just appeared out of nowhere. It's cold out? I'm sorry. Okay, I agree with the trigger warning thing, to be honest. You're allowed to do that as an isolated issue, whatever. But if you look at it combined with all of the other stuff, it does paint a certain picture. I'm okay with trigger warnings, personally. They don't really affect me one way or the other. Isn't Colin Baker also buddies with Nadine Dorris? When Terry Malloy posted the anti-trans stuff on his Facebook, the meme of the girl and the girl with the tuba, and the girl is blowing the tuba in the other girl's face, and the tuba says LGBT rights or whatever. When Terry Malloy posted that, Colin Baker did reply to it and said, like, too right or whatever. But everyone has told me that I am wrong about that, and that Colin Baker is lovely, and shut up, Ryan. So that can't possibly be true. Even though I definitely think it's true. And I think I've told you guys before, I'm the guy who yelled at Fraser Hines. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna get an angry DM about this. I can already tell. They're not gonna be concerned about anything else but me going after Uncle Colin. He was nice to me when he met. I feel like he knows that it's probably in best interest of his career to be publicly pro-trans, but that comment still exists. So it's kind of, help me, it's happening again. What's happening again? Oh, Terry is my favorite Davros too. I know. Terry Malloy being anti-trans does open up some amusing Davros jokes. That's funny. That's funny. I've been told not to bring up that criticism in public before. Whoops! On the 108th century, when Tiva Javanka used the phrase pearls before swine, Sven Kornquist recognized it from the Codex of Lazarus. She said it was from the Bible, but he didn't know what that was. During the last Great Time War, the Overseer displayed knowledge of the Bible. The Bible was in the Plume Coteries library, where after the most cat and man messed with it, all the books in the library, its author was listed as nude. Oh, from how to prepare noodles and several uneasy lessons. Davros would 100% be open to transgender people, but see them as more of an experiment than an actual identity. I'm not sure, actually. That's an interesting thought experiment. Do you think the Doctor has read the Bible? Yes. Yes. Another popular exception. As far as the Doctor's travels are concerned, the televised stories have generally avoided making references to the Time Lord being present at or involved in any of the events featured or referenced in the Bible. A notable exception occurs in Voyage of the Damned, in which the 10th Doctor claims he took the last room in the inn in Bethlehem, which forced Joseph and Mary to find alternate accommodation. The Doctor's purpose for their is being left unstated. Another possible exception occurs in Planet of the Dead, in which the 10th Doctor claims he was present at the original Easter, although he is interrupted after saying what really happened before he can specifically remember he means the resurrection of Jesus, or the first formal celebration of Easter, and before he can elaborate further as to what really happened. Guys, there's something missing here. Do you notice what's missing here? There's something missing here. There's something missing here. Something missing here. Where the fuck's Joy to the World? She becomes the star that leads the three wise men to Jesus. Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? The Doctor literally made Jesus happen. Where's that? Also, I would like to point out that even though they dismiss it in that story with like, oh, Villain Guard is tiny, they don't matter. Like, Villain Guard also got exactly what they wanted and are definitely going to use Joy to build weapons. Like, definitely. Definitely. Well, he didn't make that happen. He did. He took her there. He did. It's funny how it's fair game to pull ancient alien stuff with every other religion, but as soon as they do it with Christianity, everyone loses their mind. I know. Except for that one random line about Jesus being black in the 12th Doctor era, because the 12th Doctor era was based. Yeah, Alan agrees. Oh. The manger was bigger on the inside. It's quite good. I'm not gonna lie, that's quite good. Dauntless Prison. Oh, Jesus. Coming soon from Keir Starmer. Okay, Dauntless Prison was a prison in London, active circa 2050. It was earlier known as the Tower of London. It was used by the department to keep all the fallen angels who came to Earth. They were catalogued so if any alien committed a crime, the department would know whom to look for. What's a fallen angel? Say fallen angel. Oh, it's a code name for crashed alien spacecraft. So what this actually is, guys, is it's a holding cell. It's like Guantanamo Bay, but for aliens. That's terrifying. Some people, such as Georgie Turner, were appalled by the aliens' imprisonment and their treatment. It was governed by the human Meron Thorn. Two other Merons worked as scientists. The Merons took DNA from the prisoners for Project Trojan. A Jixon in London went to the prison. He was attacked by K9 Mark II and the Friends. They defeated the Jixon and set all the aliens free. The department's actions were leaked to the media and the prison was shut. Wait, that's from K9? Oh my god. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing, right? I like that that was the tipping point. What, like you didn't know that that prison for imprisoning aliens was mistreating the aliens? You needed to be told that by a fucking tin dog? Is this related to the Australian K9 spin-off? I believe so, yeah. Also, just making it clear, I fucking hate the ancient aliens trope. I think it's incredibly disrespectful to ancient cultures and was created by a man who said black people were a failed alien experiment. Yes. Yes, absolutely it is. And You know, the thing that's really interesting to me is how much intersection there is between ancient aliens theory and believing in ancient aliens theory and being far right. Because a lot of the ancient alien stuff is predicated on the notion that any significant historical discoveries or achievements or constructions made by people who were not white has to be the work of aliens. Because can you Adam and Eve the idea of a world where non-white people actually achieve something off of their own merits? No, it has to be aliens. It's repugnant. It's absolutely repugnant. We all know it was white people who were a failed experiment. British Alien 51. Wait, isn't that just Torchwood? Semi-related, Hitler was a Hollow Earth nerd. I know! Hitler was all in on the ancient alien stuff. Hitler was all in on like the weird occult stuff. And a lot of occult stuff does inherently lead you down like a reactionary path. Like it's not conducive to good critical thinking. And I say this as someone who unironically thinks that magic is real. However, 99% of that belief system and structure leads you down a really dark path. Real Yakub hours, what's up? Yes. Yes. Exactly, Najawin. Oh wow, we're really in on completing the system. Yes, we are today, yes. I hate ancient aliens, but the Hollow Earth is cool to think about. Don't think it's true, but it's cool. It is cool to think about. A lot of these are cool ideas to think about. The problem is the communities and thus cottage industries that form up around these conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? You've got to go, Bob. Well, I'll catch you later, mate. Thank you for tuning on the stream. Hope to see you soon. No trees on flat Earth. Well, there would be. There would be trees on flat Earth because, I mean, the idea of flat Earth is that the core acts as an inverse sun. Please do finish the page. I will finish the page. It's interesting. I think in general, Doctor Who has a real problem with how it treats aliens. I think that theoretically, if an alien civilization was ever to come to Earth and interact with us, I think Doctor Who would age really, really, really fast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. In general, I would say Ancient Aliens is probably like a lot of other drugs in that it's a little bit fun if you indulge in it a bit, but do too much of it and you'll end up flat on your ass. We need more alien companions, probably. Yeah, like Doctor Who, it conditions the viewer to always think of aliens who don't look human as hostiles. And like alien factions in Doctor Who are not like factions in Star Trek. They're not like civilizations and cultures with their own wants and needs and like traditions and stuff. What they are monsters that need to be defeated by the humans. And even the good aliens are either individuals who are like going against the trend of their like society, like Strax or Rusty, or you have factions that are always subservient to human interests, like Alpha Centauri. Like they're always non-threatening. You know what I mean? The aliens made the London Eye. There's no way white people could make something that round. That is true, because think about every time a middle-aged white man will have like a carpentry project or whatever, and they'll get their spirit level out, and they'll be like, I don't need this. This is woke. You're right. You're absolutely right. No trees on flat Earth refers to the syncretic bit of the conspiracy theory where trees are things like Yggdrasil, and we see remnants of them around the world, like with plateaus and butts. And what we think of as trees are just like giant weeds. That's really dumb. I love that. I love that. See how stupid these beliefs make you? You see? You see? What Like, even when they try to, like, move against this idea, even when they try to move against these, like, harmful depictions of aliens in Doctor Who, they still fall into other harmful tropes. Like, the examples that I would think of both occur in the same fucking season of Doctor Who, actually. And it's the Zygon invasion. That's the first one. Because even though Bonnie and her like revolutionary cell, who at the end of the day, what they actually want is to be able to exist publicly as Zygons and not have to hide who they are for the comfort of humans. Like, that's what they actually want. They're just willing to use violence to get it. Okay? The moral of that story is that no, if you want to be recognized for who you really are, you should shut up for the sake of the majority, because being recognized for who you are would require violence, and violence is never okay, even when it's absolutely necessary. That's what the actual message of Zygon inversion is. So, and then you look at the episode with the Trap Street, the Clara one with the alien refugees who all live on this trap street, okay? And what I think is really interesting about that story is that even though they try to make the different aliens sympathetic inherently by making them refugees, they also make it so that all of the aliens are still violent and superstitious and kind of primitive, because they act like fucking pre-industrial tribes people when they're around humans and not like advanced fucking aliens. Like, look at how quickly they fall to like groupthink and stuff and like the tyranny of idiocy. Yeah, they're violent, stupid savages, even when like they're from races that we know have like mastered fucking faster than light travel and stuff. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense unless you look at it through a lens of xeno-racism, and then it all starts to become incredibly clear what the messaging is. And I think that there will come a time in human development where all of those old episodes of Doctor Who will be looked at with very, very dim view indeed. And I think that's something that Doctor Who desperately needs to kind of fix, basically. I think that's one of the big problems that Doctor Who needs to fix, narratively. And it's been a big problem with Doctor Who since maybe its inception. There have been a few attempts to fix it, none of them have stuck. The Peladon stories are a good example of an attempt to fix it that should have stuck because it was quite interesting. The Zygon inversion speech annoys me because whenever people share it on current events, they miss the point of it within the story itself. 100%. I think Zygon inversion is a messy two-parter because it basically is trying to be an analogy for the Syrian refugee crisis and what assimilation versus rejection means in that context, but when you examine it too closely, the parallel breaks down because assimilation of the Zygons of the Syrian refugees are fundamentally different. 100%. Can't believe the Straggots found out when we committed a heist. Oh god, and stole the Rainbow Mission Impossible style. Shaking my head, should have kept that a secret. But yeah, I would say in terms of solutions for Doctor Who as a franchise, they need to introduce more alien factions that they actually treat as people and as like distinct cultures with their own like wants and needs and stuff. Why don't we, in stories where we show the future of humanity, why don't we ever see Silurians and Martians working side by side with humans, as they fucking would, as they absolutely would? Like, why isn't the future human world just like a coalition between humans, Ice Warriors, and Silurians, which is what it absolutely would be? You definitely taking that into consideration? Please do. You end up making way better stories. If you keep that on context in mind while watching the two-parter, you can see what it's doing and understand why it's doing what it's doing, but it's just messy. I agree. This is why something I'm really proud of with my own work is Space Station CE5, which is the hub for where some of the adventures take place in the Something Blue fan universe, which was created specifically to go against this idea. Story where sea devils hijack oil rigs. Story where a human anti-alien terrorist group tries to frame the Sea Devils for blowing up an oil rig. That's what I would like to see. Also, can you just make aliens public knowledge in Doctor Who, please? Can we just have that, please? Because when the Russell T Davies 2 era was like, when it was at the point where we were only seeing set photos, there was a prevalent fan theory at the time that Albion were actually going to be the main villains of the entire season, and it was going to be about a far-right anti-alien immigration group that Ruby was kind of sympathetic to and had to be like de-radicalized by the Doctor. That's what a lot of people thought season 1 of Doctor Who was gonna be. And that, like, we were going to have the Daleks for the season finale, because obviously, I mean, the Daleks are a commentary on fascism, you need to bring them back. That's what a lot of us thought season 1 of Doctor Who would be, and I would never be more disappointed that we didn't get that. I think that the show would be a lot more popular if we did. Something, it'll be confusing for new viewers. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Here's X-Men, but with aliens. That's not confusing at all for new viewers. I don't know. I think that'd be a really interesting run of Doctor Who, though. Someone needs to make that. Nick, get at me. Ryan, that season 1 sounds good. They should delete the current one and make that instead. Yeah, and Roger Ap Gwilym would have been the main villain. And then you could have maybe revealed he was an alien at the end, but it would have been way cooler if it was just a regular human Lex Luthor-esque villain as like the main villain of season 1 of Doctor Who. An unintentional side effect is that writing EU media set in the 2020s is that these aliens would be licensed concept. I remember audibly groaning when I saw those set photos of extras standing at the Albion HQ with red caps on. Imagine if they went into it, because the problem with a lot of that stuff is they just go, Hitler, blah, blah, blah. Imagine actually like doing that story though. Imagine if we'd got years and years, Russell, instead of whatever the fuck we've got now. The show would be popular, I'm telling you. But yeah, generally Doctor Who is a little bit, it's maybe accidentally, but it's a little bit exo-racist. And I feel like it needs to get over that. And if you like this video, then make sure to check out this one, which has over an hour of Doctor Who lore. Is it going to be there? Bye! Okay, I'll cut the video. I'll cut the video there. That was good. Also, what you're describing wouldn't be liked by the US, UK, and China. Fuck them. Might have something in my fan works. I'll never tell though. If you do, cast me in it. Let me act in your fan works, Kako Queen. I'll do a good job. I'm a good voice actor. I have a pretty big portfolio. Sounds about right for the BBC, right? Could have been so good. If only Doctor Who was on Channel 4, eh? I'll cast you as the racist sweet. I'm good at that. I can do hate. I get cast as bigots a lot, to be fair. Most of the time, I just channel my dad. Flashback to Series 10 making Donald Trump jokes for like 3 episodes in a row. David Tennant in the thumbnail. I know what you like. I know what you like. Alright, we should probably spin the wheel again. Oh wait, no, we're supposed to read the bottom of the page. Oh god. Okay. David Tennant. I have seen pictures of it, and no. It's like 7, maybe 8 inch. Definitely way bigger than average, but not 10 inch. 10 inch is like a porn dick. Wait, what? Yeah, no, there's photos of David Tennant's penis online. You can find them. Ryan, can you share on the Discord? If I can find them again. They were on like an old Twitter thread, but they're out there. He did theatre naked. It's all hanging out there. Yeah, but some Kako Queen, I get that you don't want to, but I guarantee that like three-fourths of this chat does want to. Wait, Matt Smith's is out there too? I will find that, don't worry. My most current memory of that. is someone asking Billy Piper on Graham Norton if David Tennant is really David Tennant, and Billy Piper said more like 11. And I've got to say, knowing that that is objectively not true, okay, Billy Piper is very cool. And Eccleston is out there as well. I mean, he could be a grower. I don't think so. I don't think so. Usually you can tell with a grower because there were a lot of there's a lot of wrinklage going on at the top, and this guy looked like it had been ironed. So I don't think so. You see it in the Forgotten Season 2. Well, there you go. I don't know if Jodie's penis is out there, Caca Queen. But it might be. Should we include this part in the video as well? Wasn't he called David Tennant? Oh, he was called David Tennant on every BBC licensed show he did an interview with, because the BBC was trying to push him as a rock star. Of course they were. They still do sometimes. Because he is. I love that man. 2 has the biggest dick of all of them, let's be real. Yes, absolutely he does. That's why he's hunched over all the time. 2 families, Patrick Troughton, second Doctor, second family. The agenda that he had a wang. Yeah, the agenda was just Jeremy Clarkson going, big penis. But it worked, you know. The urban legend that he died while banging a fan. Is that really an urban legend? Is that like the urban legend of, I think it's Wendy Padbury and the Unit Squaddies? Is it like that urban legend? Do you think if the Doctor was circumcised, you could use his foreskin for a meta crisis? Yes. Absolutely, that is how that works. They never specified what kind of genetic material you needed, and the only barrier I could think of would be neurons, and there's no neurons in your fucking hand. So yeah, I would say probably. Patrick 2-time Troughton. I know. Imagine when you find out that John Pertwee was a much, much better person than Patrick Troughton was in real life. Pat the Top Troughton. Tom Baker was a part of Circle Jerk. I've never understood the appeal of circle jerks. Like, what do you get out of that? What's it doing for you? You know what I mean? All right. Free as a power bomb. Just guys being dudes. I used to think that the shit I did when I was a teenager was just guys being dudes as well. As an adult, I realize I'm probably just bi. It reminded me of that Wikipedia article that's literally just a list of famous people who died while having consensual sex. I didn't know that's a Wikipedia article. The Time Lord Cancer was just one huge circle jerk. Accurate. Did you read the behind the scenes? I thought I did. I did, but I will read it again. I will read it again. My lovely person. The Dauntless Prism was represented by a card in Worlds Apart, despite originating from K9, a non-BBC television series. Lamau Troughton is on the article, I just looked it up. Alright, thanks, I missed it sadly. No worries, I got you. I got you. So, which one am I supposed to be looking up here? Take a shot whenever the topic of sex comes. Oh dear. There's a list of murdered hip-hop artists, and pretty much all of them have been murked for gang violence, except for one who was executed by the Myanmar junta for being a liberal. I suppose that is true if you count the CIA as a gang. Of course, the source for it is a what culture article. Oh god. Alright, let's spin the wheel again. Tech wizard! You know, like Elon Musk. A bearded man with a robotic arm was present at Fleur and Temporal Bazaar. Blair Shed later used his character on the cover for Doctor Who The 11th Hour. He referred to the character as a tech wizard. 11th Doctor and the Tech Wizard. There we go. It's pretty cool, to be fair. It's a pretty cool design. I mean, it is just the guys from Babylon 5. It is just the Technomancers from Babylon 5. I think Technomancers would be a pretty interesting villain for a Doctor Who, though. Maybe not 11. But they'd be pretty interesting as a villain for Doctor Who. Alright. Time to spin the wheel again. Yeah. We've already done this one. Dr. Robotnik as a Doctor Who villain. Which Dr. Robotnik are we talking about, though? Because, I mean, they vastly vary depending on what, like, personality type they are. I don't know. Depending on what incarnation they are. Herbert Hoover, hardly knew her. It's good. Oh, English Polystyle Production Publications Limited. Let's take a look. Take a look. Why not Sonic 06, 06, 06? Edman, your one is peak, don't worry. Which one's that? My main exposure to Sonic, because I didn't really play many other games, my main exposure to Sonic was the freeway Sonic the comic books, which were insane. They weren't quite Ken Pender's levels of insane, but they were insane, and that's my main memory of Sonic. So to me, Super Sonic will always be Sonic's psychotic evil side. And if it isn't, then I'm disappointed. Sonic had a freeway. Yeah, oh yeah, the one where Tails nearly JFK's. I can't remember that happening in it. I think that's the Ken Penders one. No, the one I'm talking about was like really dark and edgy. But in like a good way. It wasn't like Ken Pender's. No, it was Fleetway. Am I thinking about Fleetway? Oh, well, that still makes sense. That definitely sounds like something there too. I like the one where Robotnik gets all the Chaos Emeralds and turns into a giant crystal giant. I think that one's pretty good. But yeah, I don't really know much about Sonic. I just vaguely remember those comics as a kid and really liking them. Sonic was a massive douchebag with it in it as well. Yeah, he was! He was, and I loved him for it. Don't Google Sonic Freeway. Don't worry, I wasn't going to. I didn't realize you were a Sonic comic book expert, Kako Queen. That's very interesting. There's actually a really cool online continuation of the Fleetway comics. That's cool. That's cool. Ryan, can you look it up live on what Sonic Freeway? No, I can't look that up live on stream. If you want Sonic content from me, I made a 4-hour fucking playthrough of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Go watch it on YouTube. They adapt Sonic Adventure to... That's cool. I liked the Sonic Adventure adaptation they did with Fleetway. I thought it was really good. I like what they did with Chaos in it. They made it very intimidating. Polystyle Publications Limited was the main license holder for Doctor Who English language comic strips published in the 1960s and 70s. One of its main rivals was City Magazines, who held the license to publish the comic strip featuring the Doctor's arch enemies, which would later become known by the collective name The Dalek Chronicles. This meant the Daleks were off limits to TV Comics Doctor Who comic strip during the first half of this era. Polystyle purchased TV Publications Limited, which published TV Comic, where the run of Doctor Who comic strips began. While they were in business, Polystyle published TV Comic, Countdown, and TV Action, all of which featured a Doctor Who strip at some stage. In 1979, Polystyle lost their license with the BBC to Marvel UK, who began publishing Doctor Who weekly. I just really like the old comics with Mohawk Sonic. Mohawk Sonic is the best, yes. Let's go to the wheel. I'll be back in 1 second. And then we'll do a few more spins. Everyone hide under your desks. The Sonic movies are way better than they have any right to be. Chat, are the Sonic movies good? Should I watch the Sonic movies? I've seen the first one and I thought they were okay. Are the Sonic movies good? Are they worth watching? Do you think that my cynical ass will enjoy them? That's the question I think that I should ask you. Are the ones I saw were good? Okay. Inform me, educate me. You know, all that good shit. Naja fan is about to come in and explain why they're terrible. Alright, let's spin the wheel. Or did we? We didn't! Haha! Yeah! Never watched them? Fair. The Doctor's giddy on. Sent the Robotnik assassin the Discord. I'm not a big enough Sonic fan. I'm not a big Sonic fan. I just wonder if they're good movies. I care about the merits of things as films, and I thought the first one was quite good. So, you know, the second and third one's worth watching. I don't care about Sonic lore, like, in the slightest. Neither was I, but Sonic 3 brought me back. Okay. Oh, I've played Sonic Adventure. That's the only Sonic game that I've played. The first one, not the second one. I always thought Shadow the Hedgehog was a big fat pile of shite. So, can it convince me that that isn't true? I know he's played by Keanu Reeves now, so maybe. Sonic 1 was mid, Sonic 2 was ass, Sonic 3 was genuinely great. Alright, that's the Sonic fans' opinion there. Shadow is cool as fuck, shut up. No, he isn't. But the Sonic lore is canon to Doctor Who. You need to care about it to understand the multiverse. No, I don't. They're just worth it for Jim Carrey as Robotnik and his doomed Yowie ship. Isn't this just the video game that exists plus the Lego Dimension? Let's pop on here. The 7th Doctor thought he might have once had a giddy aunt, but he mused that she was probably metaphorical. Indeed, oh my giddy aunt was a favourite phrase of the 2nd Doctor, as there was a common exclamation of surprise for him. Both the 7th and 11th Doctors acknowledged having had an uncle. His later claim was known simply as the uncle, although the Doctor did not touch upon his marital status on these occasions. So, through the process of a regeneration, a Time Lord could upgrade into a Time Lady, being able to transform from man to woman and vice versa. Shadow is amazing when he's not written as an edgelord like the internet thinks he is. He's a genuinely tragic backstory, and his original arc from Sonic Adventure 2 to Shadow 05 is brilliant. The thing you need to understand about Rick and Morty is you need a very high IQ to I'm kidding. I'm fucking around. Maybe we'll watch them. We'll see. Isn't it just the video game that exists? Which, sorry, nobody has still adequately responded to my argument against validity. I don't know anything about Sonic lore. I just assumed Shadow was like Wario and Waluigi. Nah, I'm trying to think who Shadow is most like. He's kind of like a mix, because I do know his backstory. He's kind of like a mix of John Wick and Aptom from the Guyver manga. If that helps, which it probably doesn't. Because one of those things is a lot more well known than the other. Shadow is a lot more than an evil Sonic. Yeah, no, he's not an evil Sonic. He's a whole different character. Who has like a whole different like motivation and stuff. Wasn't he genetically engineered by a scientist to like cure his daughter's like terminal illness? And then he ends up forming like a bond with the terminal daughter, and then the terminal daughter dies, and it's sad. Isn't that what like Shadow's backstory is? Yes. See, that's pretty solid, to be honest. Think Vegeta. Yeah, very Vegeta-esque. Very Vegeta-esque, I would say, which is a good thing. You gotta have a Vegeta in your lineup, in your ensemble lineup. He was also created as an anti-alien antichrist too, obviously. Sonic is just Dragon Ball for furries. Oh no. True. In fact, the 13th Doctor noted that she no longer had any family at all, something that the 15th Doctor was much less sure about, although he worried deep down that they might all be gone. Flavia once published Tales from the Matrix, true stories from the TARDIS logs retold for Time Tots under the name Loom Auntie Fluff. I mean, Supersonic is literally a Super Saiyan, and that's something that I like about the Fleetway Supersonic, is that they carry on the idea in the original Dragon Ball that the Super Saiyan transformation turns you a little bit psychotic, which I always thought that they shouldn't have gotten rid of I liked that about the Super Saiyan transformation when it first happened, because it meant that there was a downside to the power-up. And I think that if you're going to have a power-up in, like, anything, there should be, like, a downside that comes with it. I don't judge cat girls are welcome under liberalism. I don't have a single problem with furries. Furries, keep on doing what you're doing. I have a single problem with them. Not that I would want to get stuck in a lift with 5 of them after a convention, but that's a smell issue. Not a personality issue. Let's spin the wheel of names again. Yeah, furries did hack Project 2025, and that is pretty cool, admittedly. Play Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's a really good delve into shadow psychology and why he does what he does. It's so good. Okay. Perhaps one day. Probably not, realistically, but perhaps one day. I never thought I played Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but I played that. Clock Cleaners. After Undertale and Hollow Knight. Okay, alrighty. Clock Cleaners was a Disney cartoon starring Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy. As the title implied, it featured the trio cleaning a clock tower. The Fourth Doctor presented a clip from the film while hosting Disney Time. Like most of the material in the Disney Time special, only a cut-down portion is actually shown to the audience. You suggested this one? That's cool. Do we have, like, a video? Oh, no then. No, they removed most of the page. Ah! Injustice. Injustice. That's what I say. We're gonna have to spin the wheel again now, guys. Can you imagine? They used to go over the entire story bit by bit. Oh. Random page. It's time for us to sate our fandom rage with a random page. The 135th issue of Doctor Who magazine had a cover date of April 1988. The issue was the first issue to feature an altered design of Sylvester McCoy's 7th Doctor era 7th Doctor Who logo with an oval shape behind it. This logo remained in use until issue 169 in 1991. Also, Sonic and Shadow Gens has Big the Cat, so it's automatically incredible. That is true. Alright, let's spin the wheel again. Aperture Science handheld portal device. This is from that game, Half-Life. No, wait, no, it's from that game, Team Fortress 2. Okay. My favourite original Doctor Who element. No way, I love Dota 2. A device was once held by Chell in a room. This device is the Aperture Science handheld portal device, or simply portal gun from Portal. Big fan of Ricochet. Holy shit, it's the guy from Fortnite. Alright, let's do one more. Let's do one more and then I'll leave you for a little while and then we'll return on Twitch. Yeah, let's do that. Bobby McGeever! Take a look. Oh. Our favourite character. Bobby McGeever was an individual who once asked Ricky Sunday, Ruby Sunday out on a date. Sometime between 1st of December and 23rd of December, Bobby McGeever asked Ruby Sunday out. On the night of 23rd of December, while discussing the bad luck she'd been experiencing, Ruby mentioned it just to make it worse. Bobby McGeever had asked Ruby out. With the novelization including most scenes from the original episode, the line of dialogue mentioning Bobby was cut as the narration described how Ruby and her friends favorite character. What an epic article to conclude today's stream on, eh? Yeah, we're doing I had to do stream stuff now, fuck. Yeah, we're doing Rome Total War tonight on Twitch. Never played it before, never done a grand strategy game before, so it's going to be absolute chaos. We're going to need Najawin to hold my hand through it probably. So that should be a good laugh, no doubt, no doubt. Make sure to catch that tomorrow, and then we will be back streaming on Thursday with Tardis Wiki Roulette on the YouTube channel. But I will also be around tomorrow on Twitch. That said, this has been Tardis Wiki Roulette. I've been Ryan. This has been The Wheel. Bye!